Welcome, I'm the Factual Gamer, and these are this week's gaming news. On April 3, last Friday, it was reported that Sony had bought OnLive, the gaming streaming service that allowed users to play games remotely without installing them on their local devices. However, it was also announced that Sony decided to close down the service as of April 30. In 2012, Sony had bought Gaikai, a company with a similar service to OnLive, and it was their technology that Sony is using as the backbone for their own streaming service, PlayStation Now, which allows gamers to play, at least for now, PlayStation 3 games on several devices, such as PlayStation 4, PlayStation Vita, PlayStation TV, and even some models of Sony Bravia televisions. The acquisition of OnLive and its patents, and the consequential closure of the service, is seen as a move by Sony to place itself as the main company in game streaming. Speaking of discontinuation, on the same day, Microsoft announced it was discontinuing the Kinect for Windows, which up to this point could be bought as a standalone device compatible with a Windows PC or tablet. This does not mean, however, that Microsoft is giving up on Kinect. Michael Fry, Microsoft's senior technology evangelist for Kinect for Windows, posted an explanation for this decision on the company's blog. According to Fry, having two different versions of the Kinect, the PC version and the Xbox One version, was making it difficult to keep up with the demand in certain markets. And so now, only the Xbox One version will be available, with an adapter for Windows making it possible to use the single model in both types of devices. The adapter costs $50 and the Kinect $150. On April 6, Monday, it became known that Crytek struck a licensing deal with Amazon over use of their game engine, CryEngine. All information about this deal is, however, still unofficial because, according to the sources, they were not authorized to speak publicly about it. The value of the arrangement between Crytek and Amazon is not yet officially known, but the same anonymous sources mentioned values of between $50 and $70 million. In June of last year, Crytek missed wage and bonus payments for employees at Crytek UK and Crytek USA, and this deal may have helped save the company. It is not yet known what exactly Amazon intends to do with Crytek's technology, but it seems to be planning a big move on the gaming market, considering this deal, and that last year it hired Portal designer Kim Swift, Far Cry 2 designer Clint Hocking, and Halo writer Eric Nyland, who are all currently working in a still unannounced project for the company. If these decisions were not enough to cause suspicion that Amazon is planning something big, last year it bought the game development studio Double Helix, the creators of 2013's Killer Instinct, and also formed an internal game team called Amazon Game Studios. On April 7, Tuesday, the site The Hollywood Reporter reported that Warner Bros. Has acquired the rights to the horror game Five Nights at Freddy's, created by Scott Cawthon, and that the producers are currently searching for screenwriters. Five Nights at Freddy's is a point-and-click survival horror game which takes place in a pizza restaurant called Freddy Fazbear's Pizza that features a group of singing and dancing animatronic animal characters. The player acts as the night security guard and must defend himself from the malfunctioning characters that move around the restaurant at night and attack him. Even though the game has very simple gameplay mechanics, it has enjoyed quite a lot of success, and in less than a year after the first game was released, it has already spawned 2 sequels. There is no release date for the movie yet. And yesterday, April 8, Square Enix officially announced Deus Ex: Mankind Divided, the sequel to Deus Ex: Human Revolution, the action RPG first-person game released in 2011, which was a prequel to the 2 already existing Deus Ex games released in the early 2000s. The story is set 2 years after the events of the last game, and the protagonist, Adam Jensen, joins an international task force to hunt down and capture augmented terrorists. Square Enix slowly revealed the game over the course of several days with a teaser website. Mankind Divided is set to come out for the PC, Xbox One and PlayStation 4, but no release date has been revealed yet. And that's it for the news. Coming up, the releases. Today, the games being released are Dead Synchronicity, Tomorrow Comes Today. Tower of Guns. Hero Generations. And lastly, on April 14, next Tuesday, the games being released are Mortal Kombat 10, Titan Souls, Color Guardians, Grand Theft Auto 5, Bloxiq, and that's all. I would like to take just a minute to address the problem I had with Nintendo's copyright claim. Some of you may have seen my tweets today or Facebook post, but for those who didn't, here's what happened. My video number 6 from March 20 got an automatic copyright claim from Nintendo because I used a small portion of one of their official trailers as the background for the news I was telling you about concerning Nintendo's deal with DNA to make mobile games. I obviously disputed the claim because information videos fall under fair use, but Nintendo refused my dispute, and so they get to keep all the money I could have made from that video. Now, considering I only currently get a few hundred views per video, that's really just a few cents, which just makes this even more pathetic. So considering Nintendo's stance on this issue, and other YouTubers who are actually famous also receiving the same treatment, I have no choice but to completely ignore everything Nintendo related in my videos. I will not be covering Nintendo at all, no news and no game releases. I know it's unfair for those of you who are fans of Nintendo, but I really don't enjoy being bullied by a corporation. And I don't even want to have to deal with this type of attitude from Nintendo. That's it. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening to this last bit. Don't forget to share the video, and most importantly, if you haven't, please subscribe. I'll be back next Friday, and that's a fact.